Why does Trump want Greenland?
Trump stated openly and repeatedly that U.S. will take Greenland one way or the other. He claims that Greenland is necessary for U.S. social security, and he says that Russia and China and their ships are all over Greenland already. And he cites the Monroe Doctrine. So what is the Monroe Doctrine? In 1823, U.S. President James Monroe proclaimed U.S. foreign policy with regards to the Americas. Former Spanish colonies in Latin America were becoming independent, and U.S. was concerned that some European powers may take advantage of that and try to recolonize some of those states. So, does Monroe Doctrine apply in this case? Is Greenland in the Western Hemisphere? Yes, clearly. Geographically, Greenland is part of North American continent. But Monroe Doctrine was not an international law. It was merely a stated U.S. foreign policy. And also, in 1916, U.S. formally recognized Greenland as belonging to Denmark. In 1916, U.S. purchased from Denmark the islands then called Danish West Indies and now known as U.S. Virgin Islands. The price was $25 million and a U.S. declaration recognizing Denmark as the one who controls or has Greenland. It was part of the package. Denmark sold their Caribbean islands for $25 million and the recognition of Greenland by the United States. During the World War II, U.S. planes used Greenland as a stopover on their way to Europe. After the war, Denmark agreed and actually invited U.S. militaries to stay in Greenland. In 1951, Denmark and U.S. signed a treaty which allowed U.S. to establish its base or bases in Greenland. That treaty is still in effect. In 1946, U.S. wanted to purchase Greenland from Denmark for $100 million. Denmark rejected that offer. Now a little bit of history. Inuit people have lived in Greenland for thousands of years. In 1721, Denmark established its first settlement there. In 1815, Greenland officially became Denmark colony. In the early 1900s, Greenland became a semi-autonomous region of the Kingdom of Denmark. Now, Greenland has its own government and parliament. It even has the right to declare independence if its people voted for independence in a referendum. There is a strong independence movement in Greenland, but if people there vote for the independence, they would not agree to become part of another country, or in this case, the United States, due to their unique culture and ethnicity. Greenland is the largest island in the world, with about 835,000 square miles. It is 3 times the size of Texas. It is rich in resources. The main economy is fishing. Denmark helps its economy with 500 million euros a year, which is roughly about 10,000 euros per person. The population of the entire Greenland is only 55,000 people. Its capital, called Nuuk, has only 18,000 people. 89% of the population are Greenlandic Inuit. And they have an increased now sense of their culture and pride in that culture. Right now, the sailing along the Arctic coast of Russia, in this case, is possible only for a couple of months a year in the summer, and only with the help of icebreakers. Russia is the only country in the world that has nuclear icebreakers. So why Trump wants Greenland? Trump wants Greenland for its resources, including rare metals. He wants more military bases and better military intelligence. But all that can be accomplished easily by simply negotiating with Denmark. Denmark will most certainly agree for US to establish a greater base or additional bases. It would also welcome the investment of US companies. However, it is unlikely that US companies would rush to invest because mining in Greenland is very challenging and very expensive. In spite of all of that, Trump wants Greenland. He says the US must have it. He wants Greenland to become part of USA. US can take it if they want to. Denmark is a small country with only 6 million people and could not defend it. But no other country in the world would recognize that. And it's very likely that a future US president would reverse that. In the meantime, the standing and reputation of the US would be damaged for a long time. Now, Secretary of State Rubio says that purchasing Greenland is also an option. And he cites that President Truman in 1946 wanted to purchase Greenland. Denmark is not in a position to sell it. People of Greenland would never agree to be sold as merchandise. So that too shows a lack of sensitivity on the US part. So I hope that another solution would be found, and that is simply through negotiating with Denmark, our ally in NATO.